think the question there is more along the lines of, yes, women want to marry, but who are you bending the knee to? Because you need to surrender to the Almighty and get down on one knee to Him before even allowing a woman into your space or into your environment. So, women want to marry, but do I want to bend the knee? Why didn't you want to bend the knee to God first? Because if you haven't bent the knee to God, then you can't bend the knee to a woman. And women already know this. This is why we're ready to marry. Okay, most women know this. I hope.
That's why you sabo marriage.
We sabo marriage because we know we're ready. All we're waiting is for the man who's already down on his knee.
I'm just saying, bro. I've got testimonies that would beg to differ.
I mean, that's valid.
And I mean, from married men, that is.
That what they said they weren't ready to bend the knee.
That's what scares me the most. That's why I don't want to bend the knee.
Oh.
Like, or you know what I mean? Not like.
Ever.
Let me say. That was the sentiment that I had for a long time. Mm-hmm. Me in particular. Obviously, that line is a bit more. How can I say? The line is a bit more generalized.
Yeah.
You know? But specifically, me, I feel like the testimonies were scary.
What are these testimonies?
Just like the fact that it seems to be a play of some sort that, you know, most, let me not even say most as if I'm talking about 100 married guys. No, not really. But a few of the people...
You spoke your sample size.
My small sample size had similar experiences of things were like this, or this is the impression I got of this person before we got married, and then as soon as we got married, everything changed. Sort of like I got the job now, so yeah, whatever, man.
Like now you don't have to be, oh, I work well under pressure. Now when pressure comes, you don't need to work well. I get it.
It's one of those. That's what I got.
Yeah.
You know, from it. So I was like, hey, hi, we stay under pressure.
Wow. But I think
that's what's gonna keep us on our toes if that's the case again.
I mean, you know,
we'll be on probation, both of us, for the rest of our lives.
I mean, but but there's a union, right? Mm-hmm. There's unity, and union and unity means one.
Right.
So the divine masculine cannot exist by itself, and the divine feminine cannot exist by herself. They have to become one. So yeah, you can be kept on the toes.
That's the divinity.
That's the divinity. It's masculine and
oneness.
feminine until such time as divine comes into it.
Yeah.
So divinity has to come into it, and divinity comes in through the union.
Okay.
So you kind of have to create that oneness. Marriage is the coming together of, and maybe let's not well the wedding, because that's one thing. Yay. That one we might need to carry. And that right there is the spirit telling you is hold in here. But so marriage is a infinite union of the masculine and the feminine becoming one. And in that space, then you can create life. I mean, a lot of people are creating life outside of that space, but...
So would you say then that if I am... can you be like an advocate of divine masculinity if you're a single man?
I mean, we've seen a lot of men do it. But then it starts borderlining slightly toxic masculinity, because then there's the total rejection of the feminine, which is not divine masculine.
But wait, hold on.
So you can be a divine masculine, yes, as a single man, but more likely than not, you'll be in search of your feminine. And you're now in the space where you're able to receive her. So you'll more likely find her easily.
Okay.
So,
But
yeah.
hold on a minute now. You see, now you're mentioning toxicity now. And
What, toxic masculinity doesn't exist?
like, okay, bruh. Toxic masculinity, like.
Well, detrimental masculinity, if you want to call it that.
No, but the thing is, I get we're working with the terms that we have. So, since you chose to use the toxic one, right?
Can I define toxic masculinity?
Why does the single and the toxic get?
No, that's why I said.
Why did you put the two together?
That's why I said, you can have a single man who is a divine masculine. However, sometimes when it becomes the rejection of the feminine, because then you get the, well, yeah, as men, you don't need women, just focus on your career and just focus on your money and your hustle and you'll be fine. You go king, you great king, which is great. That's cool. It's great. Like, yeah, get your money, get your bag. But who are you buying, like, who are you creating a home with? Your money can expand, but your house will never. Because you need the feminine to expand your home. Women multiply everything that you give them.
Right.
Right? You give them a seed, they give you a child. So
I guess these days they're getting a lot of drama.
Yeah, no, they're getting a lot of, because what's going in is coming out.
Oh, okay.
And that's, I guess, the Mjolo pandemic.
Okay.
So that's what I meant by toxic masculine. It's when you start rejecting the need for the feminine completely. Then you lost track.
Okay.
That's not the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. And then off camera, you mentioned something about if only relationships were like a plane where you had limited amount of baggage capacity, right? And maybe then things would be manageable.
Like, imagine, like, if you only are allowed to bring 25 kg baggage onto the single plane ride, it then prevents you, from actually offloading everything and your entire wardrobe onto a single human being,
Right.
who then has to carry their own wardrobe
Right.
as well.
Okay. But now I would say that in the same way you get charged for extra baggage per kilogram, there's also a price to pay emotionally, you know? So there is a price, technically speaking. There is a capacity and there's a price, because once you exceed the fair exchange of this is what I'm carrying, this is what you're carrying, and you know, we're gonna help each other through whatever we're dealing with. Once I rely too much on you to fix my problems, that takes its toll. You are no longer as emotionally stable and supported in this relationship. You're actually taxed.
Yes.
You're overtaxed because of this over-reliance on the other person to carry the load for you.
Yeah.
So I think life is poetic like that, you know? There's always parallels that you can draw comparisons from and say, actually, this thing mirrors life, or the things of the world and the way they're structured. They mirror even the non-verbal dynamics of interactions and transactions, let's say, between people.
And I guess there's always even a limit to everything, right? Anything over the limit, you then taxing the situation. Because there's also too much divinity.
Aye. Emanya.
Yeah. How is no? Think about it, right? Because, like,
Okay.
so we talk about the feminine being abundant, like infinite.
Yeah, how can there be too much abundance?
How can there be too much about? I mean, because if we
Abundance is
only had,
abundance.
yeah, but if we only had an abundance of feminine, it would be a problem.
So you're saying no balance?
Yes, there's a lack of balance between all aspects.
Okay.
Yeah. So you also can't have too much masculine because that's also a problem.
I think everything has its
limit.
place and its time. Once you exceed that time, you, like when you overstay your welcome, it's no longer good to have you around.
Yes.
So I get that, but I mean, I wouldn't say too much divinity. I think divinity is the ultimate state.
I mean, okay, fine. Yeah,
It's-
let's say states then, femininity and masculinity.
Okay. That's fair. And would you describe yourself as feminine or masculine? Or has it changed over the years?
So, I mean, predominantly I'm feminine, but I feel like you have to exist in both worlds. And so I exist in also my masculine energy. I think you can't ever exist wholly in one because I think society and the things we have to do sometimes you need to lean onto one more than the other. So there's always a constant back and forth of, in this specific moment, I'm in my masculine, but in this specific moment, I'm in my feminine, right? I mean, in some of the work that I do, it's very masculine, heavy type work, right? And in that, then, I have to be my masculine energy to complete the task, right?
To do your job?
To do my job, yeah, to do my job. But then
Analytical.
I can be in my relationship and I can be this type of person, and then
Stop.
I can be in my relationship and I can be this type of person, and then I can be soft, right?
Stop, Nandy. Ish. Stop.
Right?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So I can switch between the two, but it doesn't take away from my feminine nature. Because I live or exist majority of the time in my feminine.
Okay.
But there is a need for my masculine energy to come out sometimes. And I think for you, do you feel like you exist in your feminine?
Like, I mean, I think creativity is feminine.
Right?
So
This is
the
feminine.
moment, like, I'll tell you my journey sort of like in relation to being creative. Like when I still used to be like a slave to like Drake's style. His style was very, at that time, like structured, like
Yes.
4 bars, 4-bar rhyme, you know. He used to sort of rhyme strictly like that. And that's a very rigid way of rhyming on a beat. And then you listen to someone like Jay-Z who doesn't write his lyrics. So like everything is a lot more fluid. He can change the rhyme in the middle of a line and
What do you
change
mean
the
he
whole
doesn't write
scheme.
them?
No, like he
He creates like freestyles.
yeah, like listen to the beat and a couple of times not actually
Write it down.
sure how many times, or is it a once off, like once through, but he doesn't write
Basically.
lyrics.
Okay.
So anyway, that is a very masculine way. Within the feminine idea of creativity, there are rules that govern the timing and the length of beats and, you know,
The logic.
bars and all of that. That's the masculine part of creativity. But then within that, you get to play around. Like here are the walls of the yard, but within here you can play soccer, you can play frisbee, you can
Go on a picnic.
play kusha, you can have a picnic, you can do whatever. So over time, I've gone from the rigid to now the more fluid, and then choosing which one works for what kind of song. If it's a song like, okay, long story short, that's been the journey of my relationship with my femininity. At first, I was very sort of rigid, and I didn't really allow myself to explore it that much. Now, I'm free with it. I'm more comfortable in that feminine energy.
That's
I'm
why you
able
can,
to change the rhymes, twist words, twist my pronunciation. Whereas before I would be like, no, that's not how you pronounce this word. You cannot say it like that. It is orange, not orange. Because I wanted to rhyme with something else.
Is this why you can now cuddle Nandi so comfortably?
Trust
You
me,
touch with your feminine.
Trust me, this is the masculine version. I'm actually trying to keep her from eating whatever's here.
No,
This
we
is
know.
more like a timeout.
This is like punishment, but nice.
Yeah.
It's a mixture. You see, that's the mixture. It's punishment, which is masculine, discipline, but at the same time, at least you're getting warmth and cuddles, and she's probably slightly happy that this is the outcome.
Girl, I know you're lying when you post it. Smiley face emoji, but you're broken. Then you wonder why they always ghosting. Girl, I know you're lying in the caption. Thirsty nigga, why you always guessing? Then we wonder how they really trapped him. Use your common sense, it's not the comment section.